BBC staff have held a rally in the centre of Birmingham in protest at plans to transfer jobs and production to Bristol. Members of the broadcasting union BEC2 held a 24-hour strike and say they'll walk out again unless there's a rethink.
Meanwhile, it's emerged that managers have begun talks with organisations in the city about securing a significant BBC presence in Birmingham in the long term. Giles Latcham reports.
Banging the drum for their futures, BEC2 members gathered in Birmingham, aiming to force the BBC to rethink big cuts in network production in the city.
There's a large population here. If the West Midlands was a country like Wales, they wouldn't dare do it. They'd say it's racialist, but as we're not, they just think of us as a suburb of London.
We want the BBC to get back round the table to talk to us with meaningful negotiation, to explain to the staff the rationale behind this move.
If I was a young person now in the Midlands, you'd have to move if you wanted to work in the media industry. How would you get a job here? There isn't anything really.
The plans, announced last October, would affect programmes such as Coast, Country File and Hairy Bikers. About 150 staff face moving to Bristol or taking redundancy. 450 BBC jobs will remain in Birmingham. The BBC say they're disappointed by this strike, but add that they're open to dialogue to resolve this dispute. But they say switching programmes to Bristol is a business decision designed to safeguard the production of those programmes and others like them in the long term. The BBC is currently based at the Mailbox, but it's emerged that it's in talks with Birmingham City Council, among others. Discussion papers mention a possible move to a so-called digital district in the east of the city, perhaps near the custard factory at Digbeth. The BBC's Director General, Mark Thompson, met the council leader last month.
That BBC ought to be looking to actually furthering its involvement in the city of Birmingham, and how, in fact, together we could both enrich a positive reputation. And Mark is coming up to see me very shortly in February on the strength of that dialogue.
The cuts come as the corporation invests heavily in a new base at Salford in Manchester, creating nearly 2,000 jobs. Striking staff in Birmingham return to work this afternoon. Their jobs and the programmes they make are due to start moving to Bristol in August. Giles Latcham, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
There are mixed messages today on what 2012